I've been asking people especially when they see a movie, because most people are aware of their movies more than their books. Do you remember the entire movie linearly from beginning to end? What do you remember about the movie? And everyone says, no, I have favorite scenes.
Right.
And when I go back to the movie, I will fast forward through all the parts I hate.
Mm-hmm.
There are actually, within the movies I love, there are parts that I hate that just I cannot stand. But I will go back and I will watch this scene and this scene. And that's enough to make it my favorite movie. And I'm trying to get away from writing as linearly as I have been lately.
Interesting.
I always thought the point to writing was to write full time so that you could write a very linear, fast-paced thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm finding that the things that I really love are books like The Joy Luck Club,
mm-hmm.
where it's basically a whole bunch of beautiful short stories stuck together with a very tentative sort of line. Your mother gave up these children, and at the end, you're going to meet these children.
Right.
And everything in between is just these glorious short stories. And that's
like you're writing like TikTok, a book for TikTok, like this sort of, but it's an interesting thing like this. And I would tell you like your point about it. I grew up in the sort of the 90s and I go back and watch like a lot of those movies on YouTube and they have the best clips of it. And you can watch the whole movie in like 10 minutes. And it's a fun little way to do it. And I've noticed I have little kids, they do the same thing. These like sort of chip and the brain fills in the gaps from it for them to get those moments. I think it's cool.
And beginning with the Fight Club short story, I really wanted to write a much more condensed version of that without all the filler material. And then the book itself became a very condensed version of a whole bunch of short stories in the same way that I really treasure books in which I remember very specific stories. Joy Luck Club always jumps out, but most of my favorite books are either collections of short stories or they are longer novels in which there are very distinct scenes that you remember as a story in and of themselves. And especially when you're working full-time and trying to write, you need some sense of satisfaction and completion on a regular basis. And if you can write a short story that also functions as a chapter, you don't have to carry that algebraic equation in your head all the time, which is so exhausting. And it used to be that you could sell those to magazines. And when eventually you brought the manuscript to a publisher, you could say, and 6 chapters have been published in big magazines.